Some people are just not good at expressing themselves. Some people don't like confrontation. Some people just have never had a real one in their life. What's up, y'all? My name is Gabby if you're new here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be telling y'all how to move when your family, your friends, whoever, your co-workers is moving shady, when they acting funny, when they acting weird. I don't think this is something that a lot of people talk about, and it's probably because it's like a hard type situation. It's very dicey, but this is something that I have a lot of experience with, unfortunately, so I want to come up here with the tea and help y'all get through a situation like this if you feel like somebody that's really close to you is not moving real right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that you need to do is simple, straight to the point, and that's don't act right away. When you notice that somebody is saying something that sounds a little shady, seems like they posting stuff that is subliminal, don't say nothing right away, because they might not be talking about you. It might not have anything to do with you, or it could just be some time period where you already got something else going on and you start just looking at everything else just shady. You know, sometimes it's something that we're dealing with ourselves, and it's the way that we're seeing things in a certain season that is just causing us to look at everything with scrutiny. So even if you do see something that looks weird or seems weird or the vibe is off, just don't act right away. This moves into the next thing that you need to do, which is tune in. Actually start to scrutinize, intentionally look closer at the situation. There might be something internally that you have going on or that you feel that you might need to communicate in itself, but if it's not that, start paying closer attention to how people are moving, the things that they say to you and how they say it, how they're texting you. People might say that that's petty, but honestly there's so many different ways that you can communicate, and cyber communication is a real thing. People can be short. It's a way that people use punctuations to. Cyber communication is real regardless of what anybody says. You're not being petty. People give vibes through text messages, over the phone, through social media. You gotta peep that stuff, and sometimes it's really not that hard. You can just feel it inside. So actually start taking time to really look at the situation, really look at the vibes, the movements and everything, just to make sure that you're not tripping. That's key. Make sure that you're seeing what you're seeing. So you kind of gotta watch it over time. Like, don't just take one post, don't just take one comment and run with it. Actually just check in and see. You just kind of gotta tune in and watch, just to make sure that something might actually be going on. The next thing you can do, which is major key, hopefully you have at least one person. You need to get at least one trustworthy opinion from somebody else, and this cannot just be anybody. If you got that certain person in your life, like your best friend or your cousin or your mama or whoever you go to, and you talk to them and they just feed into things with you and they agree with everything you say, that's not the person that you should go to. You need to go to somebody who will give you a real, honest, impartial opinion. That's what you need, because we really trying to get to the root of this whole thing. So if you are really feeling some type of way and you go to somebody who's also looking at that person in a certain type of way, who is also on your side, you're not really going to be able to dive deep into what might really be going on. You need somebody to really look at the situation and to be able to tell you,
oh no, that's not really, I think you might be thinking a little too deep in it.
Or to be able to tell you,
yeah, I don't know about that. That seems kind of shady because A, B, C, and D.
You know, somebody that's not going to tiptoe around your feelings or play games with you or with them. Just give it to you 100.
Bruh.
I had to close my patio door. My neighbors are being very loud. The next thing still has to do with the person that you're getting their opinion from, okay? So when you're asking them for their opinion, do not try to feed them the information. Do not try to feed them a question to get them an answer. Just leave it blank. Just leave it straight, open-ended. Don't start it with,
Don't you think that,
or
doesn't it seem like?
No, don't do that, because at that point you're already giving them the information in a biased way. Just ask them straight up, what do you think? You can send the screenshots, or you can tell them what happened, and then you can ask them, what does that mean to you? Just leave it as a blank canvas to them, for them to be able to give you the information back. Don't try to manipulate the words in any type of way to make them even guess what side of it you're on or how you're interpreting it. You got to ask them in a way so that you can get understanding from them on how they see it, and then if y'all think the same thing, then you can agree, right, that's what I was thinking, because da 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 da. Or you can take what they're saying and say, oh, I didn't think about it like that because I was feeling like, you know, blah. You really want to go about this the right way, especially if it's a relationship or a friendship between somebody that you actually really care about and you really trying to figure out what's going on. You got to make sure you got your stuff in order first. And even when you ask this person, this trustworthy person, to give you an opinion, you got to go about that the right way too. So next, this is the part where it might take a little patience. And from this point, you just have to be cool, calm, and collected. Like, just try to keep yourself together, try to keep peace, and remain yourself. Don't find yourself posting anything petty, saying anything slick, anything subtle. Don't do that. Just remain unbothered. Even if you are bothered, there's gonna come a time, which we'll get to that in a minute, there's gonna come a time where you can be able to express that, but you just gotta keep it chill, keep it together. Especially because even if there is actually not something really going on, or it is something going on with them but it's not with you, you're gonna look crazy. So just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Just keep being yourself. And the next thing you need to do in this phase of being cool, calm, and collected, you need to make sure that you're taking mental tabs. Anything that you see, anything that you feel, you need to keep it in your mind, or even write it down if that helps. Any slick shot you feel like that might be towards you, any slick comment that you felt like had some underlying meaning to it, just make sure you remember that, because when it comes a time for you to actually say something, you got to have your stuff in order. Because if it actually is something going on, people can try to take a situation and manipulate it and make it seem like you're doing something wrong, or you did them dirty, or you treated them shady, when all the while, if you being honest and genuine, you know that you've been doing things straight up real, that you've been doing things from your heart, that you haven't done or said anything shady, which is why being cool, calm, and collected is important. You got to make sure that you remaining yourself. We grown over here, we leveling up over here. Never stoop down to somebody else's level. You're higher than that. And when that time comes for you to present all that, there will be nothing that anybody can say. They can't say you was being petty. They can't say you was being shady. They can't say anything like that, because you know you remained constant through this whole situation. So you just got to make sure you keep mental tabs on what is actually going on. As petty as it might sound, at some point you're going to have to present a case. That's really what it is. When you have a disagreement or argument with somebody, it's really just two sides, and everybody has their case, and you want to be able to share your case to let them know, this is what it is, this is what I saw, this is how I felt, period. And if they try to throw something at you that you know is not true, you can truly be able to back yourself up, because you know what it is. Okay, the next thing you need to do, these last few things that we talked about kind of led up to this point right now. This is at the point where you say something. Even if you truly are unbothered and you really don't care how this person is moving, if this is somebody that you love, or that you feel like you click with, or that you feel like y'all have a general understanding and it's causing any type of friction, you should say something. Nobody has time for the games. And if they really feel some type of way, or y'all are not really like that, okay, let's go ahead and just dead it right now so we can just move forward, or we can just come to a mutual agreement and we can just be cordial, or we can just agree to disagree, you know. So regardless of what the situation is, you gotta say something. Depending on you, who you are as a person, and who you're dealing with, would determine whether you're talking on FaceTime, in person, or via text, or on the phone. Whatever works for you, whatever works for y'all. But however you decide to communicate, you need to make sure that you communicate exactly what you feel and let them know.
Hey, I'm just kind of wondering what's going on, because I've seen blah, 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 and it feels like blah, 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 but I'm not sure. I don't want to make any assumptions, so I'm just trying to see what's up.
if this is somebody that you rock with, you should be able to be honest and tell them what you feel, tell them what you think. And this next thing is the last point. So basically, how they respond to what you say, what you feel in the situation at hand, it will determine where you need to go from there. People act different ways. They might open up because it's actually something going on. They might try to shut you down even though there is still something actually going on because they don't want to be honest about it. I've had a situation where I felt like somebody was kind of moving weird, so I said something and they were like,
"No, why would you assume that I'm talking about you? It must be something you got going on if you think I'm talking about you."
like they were gaslighting me. So I was like, all right, because you know you're not crazy. You know you're not crazy, especially if you take all the tips that I said in this video. At this point, when you say something, you know you're not crazy. You know you're not crazy. So for me to be honest and open, and for them to try to come at me and try to act like I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm just seeing things and I'm in my feelings, that's when I knew, okay, this is not me problem, this is a them problem, which it really was a them problem anyway. But because I care and I'm tired of this negativity, I'm going to open my mouth and say something about it, period. Some people wouldn't agree with that because some people feel like, you know, if they got something going on, that's them and I don't want to talk about it, I'm out. If that's you, that's cool. But that's just not how I operate. It just depends on the situation, because there are some times where I do see something weird and I do see something off and shady where I know for a fact, again, because of all of these steps, that I'm not tripping, but I still won't say anything because sometimes people just have to come to you. And if they don't come to you, that's just them that have to live with that. That's just them that have to live with that feeling. Because I didn't do anything and I don't feel convicted in any type of way. If you upset with something that I did or something that I said, you should have come to me, not run to social media making a subliminal post and I know you're talking about me. We're not doing that. I'm not even about to play that game with you. So it really depends on the situation, but after you open up and y'all have this conversation, depending on how they take it will show you where you need to move forward from there, because we already know how people can be. Some people are just not good at expressing themselves. Some people don't like confrontation. Some people just have never had a real one in their life and they just not used to somebody coming up to them saying like, hey, what's going on? Some people don't know how to communicate. Some people want to communicate, but they just wait on somebody else to come say something to them first. People are just so different, and you have to have a level of understanding with that, but at the same time, you have to not carry that burden, because a lot of things that we go through stem from things that have happened in our childhood or growing up. But in my opinion, we get to a point where you cannot blame everything on your childhood if you're not going to do anything about it. I could have something following me, like some sort of generational curse. I know where it comes from. I know why I'm doing it. But now, being the age that I am, if I still continue to dwell in these behaviors and I don't do anything about it to change it, I can't be mad at somebody from my past. I can't be mad from somebody in my childhood, because I'm grown now. It's on me to fix it. You feel me? So that's my opinion. I feel like that's really how it should be looked at. But it's sad to say, family, friends, co-workers, people who you truly care about, who you rock with, they deal with things inside that cause them to treat you certain ways. You know, some people have certain emotions that they don't like and they don't know how to maneuver through them. I've had a friend before who told me straight up, because we had a conversation because she was moving weird. She told me because of what she did, she knew she was wrong, but she didn't know how to talk about it, so she just avoided me. I could just tell. So it's just like, you can always tell with somebody when they're not moving right. But if you actually care about this person and you want to be the bigger person, then I suggest you do all these things. It will work. It works every single time. And by the time you get to the last thing, it will put you in a better headspace, for one, because it's all out on the table. And two, you will kind of know which way to move, how to rock. And if you don't, make sure you subscribe, because I got you. I will be telling you how to move after somebody shows you their true colors. So that's it for now, y'all, and until next time, and peace and love.